Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in another video day, and today the Houston Astros survive the Baltimore Orioles and beat them 14-11. Even though the Astros had a 14-3 lead in this game, still only win this game 14-11. And I want to share everybody what Astros announcer Todd Callis, play-by-play announcer, the way he described this game after it was over. The way he described it was the Houston Texans were beating the Baltimore Ravens 14-3. Then the Ravens scored a touchdown, went for a 2-point conversion, and the final score was 14-11. I mean, this was a crazy scoring game. This was kind of like a football score. Obviously, you don't see a football score being 14-11 that often. It is possible just because you can get to 11 points by getting a field goal and a touchdown with with not going for the extra point and getting a 2-point conversion, and then the other team having 2 touchdowns. But this was like a football type of score, type of baseball game today. And it was a crazy game. Really proud that the Astros were able to go out there and get a win tonight. This is the fact that the Astros were able to get a win in this game is great, because this was the game in this series that you were worried about. Out of every game in this series, I think you circled this game as, all right, this is the game I don't know if we'll be able to go win. And the Astros were able to go get the win that you didn't really think. With the A's having their the Orioles, the Orioles having their ace pitcher out there, and the Astros having a pitcher who had never started yet and is making his major league debut from Double A. This is the game where you look at, okay, this is probably a scheduled loss, but the Astros offense showed up today and they're able to get a win. And now you're going into the next 2 games. Yes, the Orioles have Corbin Burns starting tomorrow, which is going to be really tough, which the Astros are able to deal with Grayson Rodriguez in this game. Let's get to Corbin Burns tomorrow, but I think that will be interesting tomorrow going up against Corbin Burns. But you get the win today to start off this series. Now the next 2 games you have Framber Valdez and Ronald Blanco on the mound. Blanco on Saturday, Valdez on Sunday. That's a great position to potentially, I don't think, get you a sweep, but probably a series win. I don't see the Astros getting a sweep against this Orioles team, but I really think the Astros can find themselves potentially splitting these next 2 games against the Orioles with having both Blanco and Valdez on the mound for the next 2 games. So this is great. I also want to mention the Astros are under 4 games from 500 for the first time since April 9th. The Astros have been under 4 games from 500 since they were 4-8 after a loss to the after a loss to the Kansas City Royals. So 4-8 was the last time the Astros were under 4 games in 500. So this has to be great as well. The Astros are taking a big lead on the Rangers now. And they're catching up to the Mariners. So this was a great win, but, let's get into the game. 14-11 is the final score. I'm not too mad with the Astros pitching being a disaster in this game. I'm really not. I mean, if you look at the pitching in this game, going up against this Orioles team with the pitchers that they had out there, I mean, this pitching group was destined to get cooked. I mean, outside the last couple guys that went out there and pitched for the last 4 outs of the ball game, and Taylor Scott and Brian Abreu, those are 2 guys right there who pitched the last 4 outs of the ball game and didn't give up a run at all. Those are the only 2 guys that pitched today out of the how many guys pitched today for the Astros? The Astros had a total of 6 pitchers pitch today. Those are only 2 guys that pitched today that you look and you say, okay, I get why they're not getting crushed. The other 4 pitchers that pitched today, you understand they're getting rocked by this Orioles team. This is one of the best offenses in the league. This is one of the best teams in baseball. I think they have the 2nd best record in the American League, if I'm not mistaken. In the third, and they're tied for 2nd in the whole MLB. They have one of the best offenses in the MLB, and they showed it tonight with how good of an offensive performance they had. Astros were just, I don't know if you'd say the Astros were better offensively, but Astros were just good offensively, and maybe more clutch. But, with the pitching, the 4 guys that struggled, I wouldn't say Jake Bloss struggled in his major league debut. But, he gave up 2 runs in his almost 4 innings. Sean Dubin gave up a run. Nick Hernandez really struggled. He gave up 5 runs. Montero gave up 3 runs. So those are guys going up against this offense, this Baltimore offense. Look, it's not surprising that they're having struggles. But then you got guys like Taylor Scott and Brandon Abreu who have been good all year, and they're getting through, the 4 outs they pitch in. That's not. We're not expecting those guys to pitch the way the 4 other pitchers pitched. But it's not like the Astros had their top bullpen guys pitching in this game. They had a Double-A pitcher who started off this game, going 4 innings. And then the rest of the way, you had Sean Dubin, a guy who hasn't pitched much this year and has been back and forth between Triple-A and the Astros. Then you had Nick Hernandez, a guy who just got called up for the Astros. This is only his 3rd game pitched in. And then Montero, a guy who's been, mostly terrible all year. His ERA is 4.60. But then the Astros finish off this game by putting in a guy like Taylor Scott, who has been good all year, has a 1.67 ERA. And then Brandon Abreu closed out the game in the 9th, and he's been great all year. So those are the 2 guys that you wanted in. And then you had guys like Seth Martinez and Ryan Presley and Josh Hader who were not available last night, or not available in this game tonight because they have been pitching a lot recently. So really couldn't go to guys like them. So this is the Astros had the worst guys in their bullpen going up against this amazing Baltimore Orioles team, which really was unfortunate. But at the same time, at least guys like Ryan Presley and Josh Hader and Seth Martinez will probably be available in tomorrow's game on Saturday. Let's go over this game. So the win goes to Sean Dubin. He's 1-1 on the year now. He goes 2 1/3, giving up 3 hits. He pitched the last out of the 4th inning and then pitched the 5th and 6th. Gave 3 hits, 1 run, 3 strikeouts with 0 walks. Not bad. Not bad at all going up against this Orioles team. Not bad. Loss goes to Grayson Rodriguez. He was terrible. 8-3 on the year now. He's pitched great this season up until tonight. 5 innings pitched. He gave 9 hits, 7 earned runs, 8 strikeouts, 2 walks. And he's been pitching great this year. Even though he gives up 7 runs, his ERA goes up to 3.82. So imagine his ERA was probably at 2 or 3, either the high 2s or the low 3s before this outing, if not lower than that. Save goes to Brandon Abreu, his first save of the season. It's been hard to get save opportunities for Brandon Abreu when you have Josh Hader and Ryan Presley in the mix. He pitches the 9th, gives up 1 hit, 0 earned runs, 0 strikeouts, 0 walks. Also, Orioles had 18 hits. Astros had 14. 2 errors for the Orioles. That kind of costed them in this game, and we'll go over that. Let's go over all the scoring. The Astros get a run in the 1st inning. Very interesting start off to this game. 4 pitches in. A lot happened 4 pitches into the game. Altuve had a infield single. Then Bregman hits a single. So 2 pitches in, 2 hits. 3rd pitch, and first pitch into Alvarez at bat. Wild pitch, Altuve gets a third base, so now you have runners on the corners. Then literally the next pitch, Yordan Alvarez ends up getting a RBI ground, or not, this wasn't an RBI, grounds into double play and Altuve scores. So that's what happened in 4 pitches into the game. That scores a run. Altuve scores, Bregman's out, Alvarez is out. Alvarez doesn't get the RBI for that because you don't get an RBI on a ground out double play, even if it scores a run. And then the 2nd inning, the Astros get some hits. Loperfido and Singleton get some hits, and then Altuve hits an RBI double to left. Singleton scores. Loperfido to 3rd. It's 2-0. But then in the 3rd inning, the Orioles tie the game up when O'Hearn with a grounds into fielder's choice to 1st. Henderson scored. Rutschman out at 2nd. It's 1-2. Then in the 3rd inning, Santander hits an RBI single to right. O'Hearn scored 2-2. Bloss gives up his first 2 runs in his major league career. But honestly, my opinion, I thought Bloss was good. To come in and only give up 2 runs in almost 4 innings of work against one of the best offenses in this league, that's great for a Double-A pitcher. I was actually really impressed. I said in my pregame, I said I would think probably he pitches 4 or 5 innings and probably gives up 4 or 5 runs on like 7 or 8 hits. And he did better than I thought he would. So, really impressed with him tonight. And I'd like to see him start again. I know he's dealing with a little bit of a shoulder issue, but it's not terrible. He should be able to start again. If he stayed in the rotation, his next start would be on June 28th, so which would be a week from this game. So I'd like to see him start again. If he gets to start again, put him on pace to start against the New York Mets. The New York Mets are not as good as the Baltimore Orioles are. Obviously, the Mets can they can definitely heat up from time to time, but I'd like to see him go up against a team like the Mets, which would be his next start, compared to going up against this Orioles team where he didn't do too terrible going up against this good of an offense. But then the fifth inning, you had loss out of the game. This is Sean Dubins who gave up the run. Ryan Mountcastle hits a sacrifice fly to right. Rutschman scored. Rutschman had a crazy game. He had 4 hits. And it is 3-2. But in the fifth inning, Jake Meyers turns this game upside down as he hits a 3-run home run, 387 feet to left. This really turned the game around for the Astros. It really was the game changer. And Bregman and Diaz scores, and it's 5-3. But the big inning was the sixth inning for the Astros. They scored 9 runs in the sixth inning. It's the most runs the Astros have scored in an inning this year. It starts off for the Astros when Joey Loperfido hits an RBI double to right. Dubon scored on throwing error by right fielder Santadar, and that's one of the errors that costed the Orioles a run in this game. So it's 6-3. Then Altuve with another RBI double in the sixth inning. Loperfido scored Cabbage at third at 7-3. Then RBI double for Alex Bregman in the sixth to center. Cabbage scored. Altuve to third, 3-8. Diaz with an infielder with a fielder's choice to shortstop. Altuve scored. Alvarez to second. Bregman to third. It's 9-3. John Singleton with an RBI single to right. Alvarez scored and Bregman scored. It's 3-11. Dubon in the sixth inning with an RBI double to left to score Diaz. It's 3-12. And then Loperfido, welcome back, 3 hits. RBI double to center, Dubon scored, and Singleton scored. It's 3-14. So this is a 14-3 lead for the Astros, but all of a sudden, that is turned around. Gunnar Henderson with a 7th inning home run, 14-4. Mateo with the 8th inning home run to left, 365 feet. Mullins scored, 6-14. 8th inning, another home run for Henderson. It's a 2-run shot. McCann scores. It's 8-14. Mountcastle in the 8th inning with a RBI double. Rutschman scored. It's 9-14. Santadar with a home run to right, 378 feet. Mountcastle scores 11-14. This is a dangerous offense. This really is a dangerous offense, and some 8th inning struggles for Nick Hernandez and Rafael Montero, who really struggled, giving up 8 runs in this game. They were terrible together. They pitched, and those two guys. Hernandez came in, started off the. I believe it was the 7th inning. He pitched the 7th inning, then started off the 8th inning. Only got through 1 out of the 8th inning because he pitched so terrible in the 8th inning. Then they bring in Montero to replace him in the 8th inning. He does so terrible in the 8th inning. Then they finally find the right guy in the 8th inning. That's Taylor Scott, and he's able to get out of it. And then Brian Abreu came in the 9th. So let's go over Astros individual hitters. Altuve went 3 for 5. 3-hit game for Altuve. Reached on an infield single to shortstop, first at bat. And then 2 RBI doubles for Jose Altuve. So 2 RBIs in this game for Jose Altuve. Bregman went 2 for 5 with 2 hits. He was safe at first on fielding error by third baseman Westberg. Altuve to second. So I guess he didn't get a hit in that first inning. 5th inning he had a single to center, and then 6th inning was an RBI double for Bregman, so 2 for 5. Jordan went 0 for 3 today. He had a walk and scored a run, but that was it for Jordan. And then Cooper Hummel replaced him and had 1 at bat, and in that 1 at bat he flied out to second. Yainer Diaz went 1 for 4 today. He walked in the first, and he had a 5th inning single to left. He scored 2 runs and had an RBI with a fielder's choice RBI. Jake Meyers went 1 for 5. He had that home run with 3-run shot, but that was it for Jake as he went 1 for 5 in this game. John Singleton was really good in this game, went 2 for 5 with 2 runs scored, had a single to left in the second inning, struck out in the 4th and 5th, but had a 2 RBI single in the 6th inning, but struck out again in the 8th. How about Mauricio Dubon? He continues a hitting streak. It's 13 games for Dubon now. He started off the game with a line out, but a 4th inning single to center, a 6th inning walk, a 6th inning RBI double to score Diaz, and then an 8th inning ground out finishes out Dubon's day with a 2 for 4 day with a walk. I would say outside Altuve, potentially this is the player of the game right here for the Astros. Welcome back to the majors, and I don't see him leaving anytime soon. Joey Loperfido had a huge catch. Jake Meyers and Joey Loperfido, I want to talk about their 2 catches in the outfield today. They definitely saved Jake Bloss some runs in this game. I mean, Jake Bloss pitched well, but those 2 guys went out there and saved some runs for him. He probably would have given up 4 or 5 runs if it wasn't for Joey Loperfido's catch in left field and Jake Meyers' catch in center field, both of their diving catches. But Joey Loperfido's diving catch was beautiful. Saved the Astros some runs as well. So not only did he have that catch, but he goes 3 for 4. Second inning, a single to right to get Singleton to second. Struck out in the 4th inning. That's the only downside about Loperfido's. He strikes out a lot. 6th inning, he had a double to right. Dubon scored on throwing error by right fielder Sentadar. And then 6th inning, an RBI double to center. Dubon scored and Singleton scored. So he doesn't get an RBI for his first double in that 6th inning. He has 2 doubles in the inning. One Dubon scores off of, but he does not get the RBI. Then he has another Dubon and Singleton score, and he does get the RBIs. Then he had a single. He had a single in the second. He scores a run. He has 2 RBIs. Absolutely fantastic for Joey Loperfido. Trey Cabbage went 0 for 3. He had a 6th inning walk. Scored a run in that 6th inning. I mean, didn't everybody score a run in that 6th inning, though? But yeah, pitching, Jake Bloss went 3 2/3 in his major league debut. Gave it 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts against his lineup. That is not bad at all. Sean Dubin went 2 1/3, giving up 3 hits, 1 run, 3 strikeouts. Again, against his lineup, that is not bad at all in over 2 innings. Nick Hernandez, I want to see him optioned. That was terrible. He went 1 1/3, giving up 5 hits, 5 runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Then Montero came into replacement. He was even worse, gave up 3 hits, 3 earned runs. I think they were all home runs too. Then Taylor Scott came in, finally found the right guy to finish out that 8th inning. He got through it, 3 pitches, 2 strikes. Then Brian Abreu closed out this game, got the save, giving up 1 hit, but no other damage, and that was it. Brian Abreu got through this game cleanly. Let me know your thoughts on the game in the comment section, and peace out. Go Astros.